Have you ever wondered why everything in life seems to change? Why do moments of happiness fade away so quickly? And why do even tough times eventually pass? What would your life look like if you truly understood that everything, every feeling, every situation, every person will inevitably come and go? Imagine losing your favorite book or recalling a joyful childhood memory. Even these things, so precious and vivid, eventually drift away. Isn't that puzzling? Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where together we uncover deep truths that can gently transform how we see the world and ourselves. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribes. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means so much and helps us keep weaving wisdom for you and others who need it. Buddhism teaches us that impermanence, called Anicca, is at the very center of life. Everything comes and goes, much like clouds passing across the sky. No good feeling lasts forever, and neither does sadness. Recognizing this can be freeing. It means we don't have to hold on too tightly to joy or pain. Life becomes softer, less harsh, and we find a gentle peace in knowing that every moment is unique and will not last. We often struggle when change arrives. It's hard to let go of things we love or to accept when something ends. Yet, the Buddhist view reminds us that the nature of all things is to appear and disappear. Through everyday experiences, meeting new friends, losing old ones, growing up, watching seasons shift, we can see that change is always happening. If we open our hearts and let ourselves accept this simple truth, we can find comfort and strength. Instead of fighting change, we can learn from it. Impermanence teaches us to cherish each moment and to be kind with ourselves when things feel uncertain. By exploring these ideas, we hope this series will help you find wisdom, peace, and a deep sense of belonging, right here and now. Stay with us as we begin this journey. The Buddha's first lesson, Anicca unveiled. Imagine walking through a garden filled with the most beautiful flowers. You notice their colors, the way the sunlight touches them, and how their fragrance fills the air. But as you visit the garden day after day, you slowly see the flowers bloom, fade, and fall away. No matter how much you wish they could stay forever, their beauty changes and eventually disappears. This simple truth, that everything changes, is also the very first whisper of wisdom that the Buddha shared with the world. This is called Anicca, the natural law of impermanence. Anicca means that everything in life, everything we see, feel, and know, is always in motion. Nothing stays the same. Our thoughts, our feelings, the people we love, the moments we cherish, they all come and go like waves on the ocean. At first, this can feel unsettling or even frightening. We want things to stay, to last, to remain just as they are, especially the good things. But the Buddha teaches that this very resistance to change is the root of much of our suffering. When the Buddha awakened to deep understanding more than 2,500 years ago, he realized that clinging to things as if they were permanent is a kind of blindness. The world we live in is like a flowing river, always moving, never stopping. To try to hold water in your hand is to watch it slip through your fingers. In the same way, trying to hold on tightly to life, to people, or to experiences only causes pain when change happens. This is the first great teaching, to see clearly that all conditions, all phenomena, are impermanent. They arise and they pass away. The Buddha expressed this in a short but profound statement, Sab Sankhara Anicca, meaning all conditioned things are impermanent. Conditioned things are everything shaped by causes and conditions, including our bodies, our emotions, our relationships, And even our thoughts, they have no fixed essence because they depend on so many factors that are constantly changing. From the tiniest leaf on a tree to the vast sky above and even our own lives. Nothing is exempt from this law. But why is this important? How does knowing this help us? The Buddha didn't just give this teaching as a cold fact to memorize. Instead, it is an invitation to free ourselves from suffering. When we understand that everything is impermanent, we begin to loosen our grip on things that cause us pain. We learn that joy and sorrow are both like passing clouds. Here now, gone moments later. This understanding opens a path to live with less fear and more acceptance. Consider this. A child's mood is often bright and joyful, but moments later, it can shift to sadness or frustration. The child's feelings don't hang around forever. They arise and vanish naturally, just like all feelings do. The Buddha says this ebb and flow is the way of life, and the more we fight reality as it is, the more we hurt ourselves. Recognizing impermanence means we can be more gentle with our changing hearts. The Buddha also linked impermanence to the idea of dukkha, often translated as suffering or unsatisfactoriness. Because things do not last, because everything is constantly changing, we experience a subtle unease unless we understand this truth. For example, the happiness we find in anything temporary, whether a possession, a relationship, or a success, can turn to pain when it changes or ends. This doesn't mean life is only pain. Rather, it means if we don't accept impermanence, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Anicca, impermanence, also connects deeply to Anatta, the teaching of not self or no permanent soul. If everything changes, then what we think of as me or mine is also not fixed but made of many changing parts. Our bodies change, our thoughts change, and even our sense of who we are shifts over time. Like a chariot composed of wheels, axles, and a seat, the self is a collection of parts and experiences that come together temporarily. There is no unchanging thing inside. The Buddha called attention to the truth that clinging to the idea of a permanent self leads to suffering, because it is based on a misunderstanding of reality. When we realize the self is impermanent too, we begin to see life differently. We begin to let go of our tight grasp on identity, of the stories we tell about who we are, and open ourselves to the flow of existence as it is. The Buddha's teachings on impermanence ask us to become mindful observers of our own experience. Noticing thoughts arise and fade, feelings come and go, and body sensations change is a practice that leads to wisdom. Through meditation, one can watch these changes with calm awareness and understand their true nature. This is not just theoretical. It is a living insight that slowly frees us from suffering. Impermanence also teaches humility and gratitude. When we see that every moment is fragile and precious because it will not last, we naturally learn to cherish our experiences. We appreciate people more deeply because we understand they won't be with us forever. We savor good times without clinging and endure hard times knowing they too will pass. Anicca gently reminds us to be present to life, not stuck in the past or desperately clutching the future. Life's impermanence shows itself in every breath, in every heartbeat, and in every step we take. The Buddha's first lesson to his followers was not just a teaching but a lived truth. Everything that arises passes away. This is the foundation upon which all his other teachings build. The Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and the Way to Liberation. By embracing this simple truth of Anicca, we start a journey toward peace and freedom. It invites us to open our hearts, to welcome change as a natural companion, and to find joy not in clinging but in flowing with life's rhythms. This is the Buddha's gift to all who listen. a path out of suffering through seeing clearly and accepting deeply. It is the heartbeat of Buddhist wisdom, the radiant light that shines through the ever-changing world, showing us a way to live gently, openly, and with deep compassion for ourselves and others. As we continue this journey, may your heart grow lighter and your spirit more at ease with the beautiful, fleeting dance of existence. Stories of change. Buddhist parables on letting go. Let me tell you a story, a simple story from the teachings of the Buddha that helps us understand the nature of change and the art of letting go. Once upon a time, there was a man named Kisa Gautami. She was deeply saddened by the loss of her only child. Her grief was so profound that she could not accept his death. She wandered from house to house, pleading for a medicine to bring him back to life. Her sorrow seemed endless. One wise elder gently told her that such a medicine could be found, but only if she could bring a mustard seed from a house where no one had ever died. Kisa Gautami went from home to home, searching for the mustard seed. But everywhere she went, she found families who had experienced death and loss. Slowly, she began to realize that death, change, and loss are part of everyone's life. No one is spared. This story beautifully illustrates one of the core teachings of Buddhism, that everything changes, and holding on tightly to what must change only deepens suffering. The mustard seed becomes a symbol of impermanence, an invitation to see that pain and grief are natural, and that letting go is a step toward healing. Another story that captures the essence of change is the tale of the bamboo tree. In the beginning, after a bamboo seed is planted, nothing seems to happen. For years, the bamboo appears to be resting quietly beneath the soil, hidden and silent. But then, suddenly, it shoots up and grows rapidly, reaching towering heights within a short time. The bamboo reminds us that though change may seem slow or invisible at times, it is always happening beneath the surface. Growth and transformation are real, even when unseen. These stories speak in simple, gentle language about the deep truths of life. They invite us to embrace change not with fear or resistance, but with wisdom and patience. Buddhism uses stories like these because they touch the heart and awaken understanding. They are not complicated teachings filled with difficult words. Instead, they reach us where we are, showing us how to live with change through everyday experiences. Think about your own life. You might remember a time when you felt sadness or loss. Maybe it was the end of a friendship or moving away from a place you loved. Remember the feelings of fear or resistance that came when you wanted things to stay the same. What these stories remind us is that these feelings are normal, but they don't have to control us. When we see that everything is like the mustard seed or the bamboo, we realize there is space for new beginnings, for healing, and for hope. Letting go becomes not an act of giving up, but an act of courage and love for ourselves and for life. Sometimes the hardest thing is to accept that even the people we love must change or leave. But Buddhism teaches us that our connection to others is like a river flowing. It changes its course, yet the water always moves forward. We can cherish memories and feel love without trying to stop the river. Stories of the Buddha also guide us gently to be kind with ourselves as we learn to let go. They remind us that change is part of being human, part of growing, and part of awakening. Like the bamboo, we have strength inside to rise after seasons of silence or difficulty. In these teachings, there is no pressure to be perfect or to handle everything at once. Instead, we are invited to take small steps, to breathe deeply, and to allow ourselves to feel whatever comes without judgment. Compassion for ourselves is as important as understanding impermanence. Letting go also opens us to joy that is free from attachment. Imagine the feeling of watching a leaf fall from a tree, not with sadness or fear, but with peace and acceptance. This is the kind of deep happiness that Buddhism points us toward. As we listen to these stories, we begin to see our own lives as a beautiful, unfolding story, filled with moments that come and go like waves, each one precious in its time. The Buddha's stories are like lanterns lighting our path through change. They show us how to find peace amid uncertainty, hope amid loss, and strength amid sorrow. They teach that letting go does not mean losing everything, but discovering the freedom that comes with embracing life as it is. This gentle wisdom is not just for monks or scholars. It is a guide for all of us, every day, in how we live, love, grieve, and grow. May these stories touch your heart and help you find your own way of letting go, with kindness and courage, in the ever-changing dance of life. Why we cling, the mind's illusion of permanence. In life, we often find ourselves holding on tightly to people, moments, feelings, and things. But have you ever stopped to wonder, why do we cling so much? Why does our mind resist change, even though everything is always shifting around us? This part of our journey invites you to explore the deep and gentle truth about the mind's illusion of permanence and why understanding it can bring great peace. From the moment we are born, we start to build attachments. We eagerly reach out for comfort, love, and safety. These feelings are natural. They keep us connected to the world and to those around us. However, as our attachments grow stronger, we begin to believe that what we hold on to is permanent. We think that if only we had more love, more success, more of this or that, then life would be stable and secure. This belief is an illusion, a trick of the mind that makes us think there is something in this changing world that will last forever. The Buddha saw that this illusion of permanence is at the root of much of our suffering. Our minds want to freeze time, to stop change, to keep the good moments from slipping away. Yet life unfolds like a river that never stops flowing. When we fight the river, we only wear ourselves out. But when we learn to flow with it, we find a kind of freedom. Clinging happens because our minds are afraid of loss. We try to hold tight to what feels good, whether a relationship, a possession, or an idea about ourselves. But the more tightly we hold, the more painful it becomes when change inevitably comes. The Buddha's wisdom teaches us gently that it is not the world that causes suffering. It is our attachment and refusal to accept change that brings pain. Imagine holding a handful of water. The tighter you squeeze, the more water slips through your fingers. This is how clinging works. When we grasp life tightly, we lose the joy and peace that come from allowing things to be as they are. Instead, we experience fear, anxiety, and disappointment. The mind's illusion of permanence also makes us believe in a fixed self. We create a story about who we are, what we want, and what we need to be happy. But just as everything else changes, our sense of self is always shifting, formed of ever-changing thoughts, feelings, and experiences. When we realize this, we can loosen our grip on identity and find a gentle acceptance of our true nature, one that is fluid, alive, and free. Another reason we cling is because we seek control. Change feels unpredictable and scary, so we try to control our surroundings and ourselves to feel safe. But real control is beyond our reach because the universe is vast and ever-changing. The Buddha's teaching encourages us to let go of the need to control and to find peace in trusting the natural flow of life. Clinging can also keep us trapped in the past or worried about the future. We may hold on to regrets, mistakes, or hurts, replaying them in our minds. Or we may anxiously plan and worry about what might happen tomorrow. This clinging to what is gone or what is not yet here keeps us from fully living the present moment, which is all we truly have. The Buddha offers us a path to gently loosen this grip. He encourages mindfulness, a way to observe our thoughts and feelings without getting lost in them. When we watch our clinging mind with kindness and curiosity, we begin to see its patterns clearly. We learn to respond with wisdom instead of reacting automatically. Through mindfulness, we discover that it is possible to love deeply without possession, to care without clinging. We can cherish what we have in the present moment, knowing it is precious and temporary. This is the heart of freedom, the beauty of embracing impermanence without fear. Letting go of clinging does not mean we stop caring or loving. On the contrary, it opens our hearts wider. It allows us to be more present with others, to listen and connect without needing to hold them close forever. We learn that love can be free and expansive, not trapped by fear or expectation. Imagine how light and joyful life feels when we stop carrying the heavy burden of attachment. We can move gracefully through experiences, welcoming change as a teacher and friend. This is not an easy path, but it is one filled with compassion for ourselves and for others. The more we practice understanding the mind's illusion of permanence, the more we awaken to a life that is alive with possibility. We discover that peace does not come from owning or controlling, but from letting be. Like a leaf floating on the water, we find ease in the flow of life. So, let us gently ask ourselves, what am I holding on to? What parts of my life am I trying to freeze in time? Can I begin to see the beauty in the changing nature of all things? Can I welcome impermanence with an open heart? This awareness is the seed of wisdom that the Buddha planted long ago. It grows quietly within us, offering light in moments of darkness and strength in times of uncertainty. By understanding why we cling, we begin to free ourselves from suffering and walk toward a life filled with peace, love, and true freedom. In the next part, we will explore deeply the roots of suffering and how attachment nourishes it. Until then, may you find moments of calm and softness in the ever-changing dance of life. Suffering and attachment, the roots of dukkha. Let us sit together quietly and reflect on something that touches every one of us deeply. Suffering. It is hard to find a life without some form of hardship, pain, or sadness. The Buddha called this suffering dukkha. But dukkha is more than just physical pain or tears. It is a deep feeling of dissatisfaction and unease that lives quietly beneath the surface of many experiences. Today, let us gently explore how attachment, the way we cling to people, things, and ideas, is at the very root of this suffering, and how understanding this can bring a softening to our hearts. Imagine a child playing with bubbles. How joyful the child is as she blows bright, shimmering bubbles into the air. But when a bubble pops, and it always does, there is a moment of surprise, maybe even sadness. The child wants the bubble to stay whole, to float forever, but it cannot last. Our lives are much like these bubbles, beautiful and delicate, shining and fragile. We want happiness, success, love, or peace to stay forever, but they are like bubbles, always changing and popping in time. This wanting, this grasping for what is sweet or comforting, is called attachment. The mind becomes attached because it hopes these things will protect us from pain or make us permanently happy. But the truth is, no matter how tightly we hold, the moment will slip away. When it does, the mind feels the sting of loss, discomfort, or fear. This is dukkha, the suffering caused not by the world itself, but by our clinging to it as if it were unchanging and permanent. The Buddha taught that all beings experience suffering, whether big or small, seen or hidden. It is a shared reality we cannot escape. But suffering is not a punishment or a weakness. It is a signal that points us toward awakening, calls us to look carefully at why our hearts hurt and what we might change inside. Attachment is deeply rooted in our desire for security, love, and control. We chase many things believing they will fill a gap inside us. Could be a person's approval, a comfortable home, wealth, or even our own image of ourselves. Each time we hold on, hoping for lasting happiness through these, we set ourselves up for disappointment because nothing lasts. Everything is in flux, falling apart, or moving on. Yet the mind, not ready to accept this, keeps hoping and clinging. Think about the heartache of losing someone you loved, a friend moving far away, the end of a relationship, or the death of a dear one. The intense pain comes because the heart holds tight, unwilling to release the imagined permanence of that person's presence. The Buddha shows us that this natural pain can be lessened by slowly learning to let go with compassion, not by forcing ourselves to forget or feel numb. Our attachments also shape how we see ourselves and the world. When something threatens what we hold dear, fear and anger arise. These emotions pull us into a storm that clouds our vision and hardens our hearts. But when we begin to see how dukkha grows from clinging, we start to open the door to healing. We begin to understand that pain is a part of life's flow, not a trap or failure. Why does it feel so hard to loosen our grip? Because attachment protects us from facing the uncertainty of life. When we let go, we feel vulnerable, unsteady, and afraid. We prefer the familiar, even if painful, over the unknown. But like a tight fist holding water, the more we squeeze, the more we suffer. Letting go is not losing, but gaining a space where healing and freedom can grow. The Buddha taught that by recognizing attachment and how it causes dukkha, we can learn a new way to live. One way is through the practice of mindfulness, paying gentle attention to what is happening inside us without judgment. When we feel the itch to cling, we can pause and watch it with kindness, like watching a cloud passing in the sky. We realize that the feeling of need or fear is itself impermanent and will pass. Another way is by cultivating compassion toward ourselves and others. Sometimes we are harsh with ourselves for feeling loss or pain, but in truth, these feelings teach us about love and connection. Compassion softens our suffering as we accept ourselves as we are, imperfect, changing, and human. Dukkha is also linked to desire, the constant craving for more comfort, more recognition, more security. This chasing never fills the heart. It only deepens restlessness. The Buddha called this tanha, or thirst. Like trying to quench thirst with salt water, it only makes the thirst stronger. The remedy lies in understanding this craving and learning to meet life without grasping. This does not mean we stop caring or give up on joy. Rather, it invites us to meet joy and pain alike with an open heart. We learn to accept life's ups and downs as part of the human story. When we do this, the suffering caused by attachment softens, and a quiet peace begins to grow like a gentle light inside. To practice this, we can start small, noticing the little moments when the mind clings, wanting a perfect day, holding on to anger, fearing change. Each time we catch ourselves doing this, we have an opportunity to choose a different path, to breathe, to be present, and to allow life to be as it is without needing to control or fix it. This is a path of healing, a path toward freedom from suffering. It is a gradual unfolding, like a flower opening in the morning sun. Sometimes, the journey feels slow or difficult, but every step is a step closer to true peace. In time, by seeing how attachment causes dukkha, we begin to understand the beautiful balance between caring deeply and letting go gently. We learn how to love without chains and to live fully in the present moment. May this understanding bring softness to your heart and lightness to your steps as you walk through life with the Buddha's loving guidance. Remember, suffering is not a punishment but a chance to wake up, waking up to the truth of impermanence, to the freedom beyond clinging, and to the deep peace that rests within you already. Mindfulness, anchoring the present amidst change. Let us take a moment to sit quietly and breathe together. When life feels like it's swirling too fast, when change comes quickly and the heart feels unsettled, there is a gentle practice that the Buddha taught long ago: mindfulness. Mindfulness is a way to be fully present with whatever is happening, without getting lost in worry or regret, fear or anticipation. It is a precious anchor we can hold onto amid the ever-changing waves of life. Think about a small child playing with a flower or watching raindrops fall. The child's attention is fully here and now, simple and focused. There is no rushing ahead or looking back. That pure presence is what mindfulness invites us to rediscover. It is not about stopping change or fixing life, but about opening our awareness to what is, as it unfolds moment by moment. The Buddha saw mindfulness as the heart of awakening because it helps us see more clearly the flow of our experience. When we are mindful, we notice thoughts and feelings arise but don't get swept away by them. We become like a calm lake reflecting the sky, watching clouds drift by without losing our stillness beneath. Why is this so important? Because when we cling to past joys or project worries about the future, we miss the richness of the present. When we live caught up in memories or fears, the precious moments right here quietly slip away. Mindfulness is the doorway to embracing impermanence, not as a sad or scary fact, but as a living reality that we can walk with gently. To practice mindfulness is simple, yet its impact is profound. It begins with small steps, like feeling the sensations of breathing, noticing the warmth of the sun on your skin, or listening fully to the sounds around you. These moments of awareness ground us in the now, the only place where life truly happens. Sometimes the mind is restless like wild horses running. Mindfulness asks us not to chase or cage the horses, but to observe them with kindness, letting their energy flow without judgment. This creates space inside where peace can grow, even when the outside world is noisy or uncertain. The breath is often our first and most faithful teacher in mindfulness. It is always with us, quiet and steady beneath the surface of our busyness. When you feel overwhelmed, try turning your attention inward to the gentle rise and fall of your breath. This simple act can center your heart and clear your mind, reminding you that you are alive, here, and connected. Mindfulness also softens our relationship with change itself. Instead of reacting with fear or resistance when things shift, we learn to greet each moment with openness and curiosity. Like watching the changing colors of the sky at dawn, we see beauty in the unfolding story of life, even when it asks us to say goodbye or let go. Imagine walking through a forest in autumn. Leaves fall, rustle, and scatter over the ground. If you walk mindlessly, you might miss the dazzling colors or the whisper of the wind. But if you walk mindfully, fully present in each step, the forest reveals its magic. This is the gift of mindfulness, illuminating even ordinary moments with wonder and grace. Through mindfulness, we also gain a clearer understanding of our own hearts. We begin to notice patterns. Moments when fear makes the chest tight, times when joy lights a smile, or when anger rises like a storm cloud. Observing these feelings without blame or pushing away creates a gentle awareness that reduces suffering. This awareness gives us a choice. Instead of reacting automatically, in anger, despair, or clinging, we can pause, breathe, and respond with wisdom and kindness. This is freedom. It is the practice of living fully awake in a world that never stands still. Mindfulness is not something we perfect or achieve once and for all. It is a gentle friend who walks beside us every day, in every breath, offering us refuge and strength. Some days the mind will wander. Other days it will be calm like a still pond. Both are part of the path, and both are welcomed with patience. Another profound aspect of mindfulness is how it connects us to others. When we listen mindfully to a friend, a parent, or a child, we offer them our full presence and open heart. This presence itself can be healing. It shows that we value their experience, whatever it may be, and that we are there without needing to change or fix it. In relationships, mindfulness invites us to see change as natural, even in the ones we love. We learn to appreciate each interaction as unique and fleeting, to cherish the moments we have, and to accept separation or difference with grace. Our love deepens not because we cling, but because we are fully present. Mindfulness also guides us in daily life, in the small things many overlook: the taste of food, the feeling of walking, the rhythms of work and rest. These simple practices become doors to peace, reminders that life is happening now, in all its impermanent beauty. As we practice mindfulness, the gaps between moments expand. We find space to breathe, to feel, to understand. We may notice the constant movement of life, but remain steady inside. This steadiness is a refuge, a source of calm that no external change can shake. Remember, mindfulness is not about escaping life's challenges or denying change. It is about welcoming all experience, pleasant and difficult, with an open heart and clear mind. It is about waking up to this precious moment, right now, without needing to hold on or push away. Through mindfulness, we nurture a deep peace within ourselves, one that rests not on holding on to anything but on the gentle acceptance of everything as it is. This peace is a true home, always available, regardless of what comes or goes. In this way, mindfulness does not only free us from suffering but opens the door to joy, the joy of being fully alive, fully human, fully connected to the unfolding mystery of life. May you find the softness of mindfulness as a steady companion, helping your heart to rest and your spirit to bloom beautifully in the flow of change. This practice is a gift, a seed that will grow slowly with care, illuminating your path moment by moment, breath by breath. The wisdom of non-attachment. Let us sit quietly once more and open our hearts to a gentle teaching, the wisdom of non-attachment. In life, we often find ourselves holding tightly to things, people, or ideas because we believe they will give us lasting happiness or security. But this tight grasping, as the Buddha showed us, often leads to pain and confusion. Non-attachment does not mean being cold or distant. Rather, it is a warm and kind way of relating to life that frees us to love, live, and move through change with grace. To understand non-attachment, imagine a bird resting on your hand. You can hold it too tightly, trying to keep it from flying away, and in doing so, you may hurt it. Or you can open your hand gently, allowing the bird to stay if it wishes, but ready to let it go whenever it chooses. This openness is the heart of non-attachment. It is loving without clinging, caring without demanding, and embracing without holding on too tightly. Why do we find it so difficult to practice non-attachment? It is because our minds crave certainty and comfort. We want to freeze moments of happiness, keep loved ones close, and hold tightly to our identities and possessions. Yet, reality is always shifting. When we hold too tightly, we block the natural flow of life and create tension inside ourselves. Buddhism teaches us that non-attachment brings freedom. It means we respect the true nature of things, that everything is impermanent. We learn to appreciate people, moments, and experiences as gifts that come and go. This wisdom softens the mind's grip and opens the heart to deeper joy. Non-attachment is not a rejection of love or joy. In fact, it allows us to love more fully. When we are not clinging, our love becomes pure and generous. We are free from fear, jealousy, or sadness that often come when we try to possess or control. Love then is like the sun shining without expectation, a warm light that nourishes everything without holding back. Think of a river flowing freely. The water does not try to hold onto leaves or stones. It simply moves around them, embracing change and continuing on its path. Non-attachment invites us to be like that river, open, flowing, and accepting whatever comes without resistance. When we practice non-attachment, we also learn to respect ourselves in a new way. We stop fighting who we are or who we should be. Instead, we accept our own changing thoughts and feelings with kindness. This acceptance builds inner peace and gentle strengths. One practical way to learn non-attachment is through meditation and mindfulness. When difficult emotions arise, like anger, grief, or fear, instead of pushing them away or grabbing onto them, we can watch them as passing visitors. We recognize, this feeling is here now, but it will change. This awareness helps us loosen the tight grip of attachment and find calm in impermanence. Non-attachment also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are not the center of everything and that life is bigger than our wants or fears. When we release our need to control, we open to the mysteries and miracles of life's unfolding story. This wisdom is especially helpful when facing loss or change. When a friendship ends, a job shifts, or a dream fades away, non-attachment helps us say goodbye without breaking. It gives us the courage to move forward with an open heart, ready to embrace new possibilities. Non-attachment does not mean indifference or apathy. It means fully engaging with life while holding everything lightly. Imagine walking on a path covered in autumn leaves. You notice their vibrant colors, feel their crunch beneath your feet, and appreciate their fleeting beauty. You don't grasp the leaves or try to stop them from falling. You let them be, and this simple acceptance allows you to find joy in the moment. This teaching also helps us in relationships. Often, our love becomes tangled with expectations, how others should behave, how they should make us feel. Non-attachment encourages us to release these rigid ideas. We begin to see others as they are, with their own paths, joys, and struggles. We learn to love them freely, without needing them to be a certain way or to fulfill us. As we nurture non-attachment, we gradually awaken to a kinder, fuller way of living. We notice that true happiness does not come from owning or controlling, but from a gentle letting go, an opening of the heart that embraces life's flowing nature. Letting go takes courage because it asks us to face uncertainty and vulnerability. But in that letting go, we find a quiet strength, like a willow tree that bends with the wind but does not break. This strength comes from trust. Trust in life, trust in change, and trust in our own inner resilience. The wisdom of non-attachment is a gift from the Buddha to all who seek peace. It is a light that guides us through the darkest nights of loss and the brightest days of joy. It teaches us that life is precious not because it lasts forever, but because it is ever-changing and alive. By embracing non-attachment, we learn a new way to live, with openness, kindness, and a heart wide enough to hold the full mystery of existence. We become like the sky, vast, calm, and generous, allowing clouds to come and go without fear or grasping. May you hear this teaching deeply and carry it gently in your heart. May it bring you freedom from suffering, a softer way to love, and a peaceful strength to walk the changing path of life. In the dance of coming and going, may non-attachment be your steady friend, your quiet guide, and your deepest wisdom. Nature's teachings, seasons, cycles, and the Dharma. Imagine standing in a quiet forest, surrounded by towering trees and soft rustling leaves. All around you, nature is alive with movement, change, and rhythm. The trees grow tall, their leaves bloom and fall, and the seasons come and go, endlessly flowing in cycles. In this natural world, there is a deep wisdom woven into every part, the very lessons the Buddha called the Dharma. Today, let us gently explore how nature teaches us about impermanence, about the way everything comes and goes, and how this understanding can soothe the heart and illuminate our path. Look at the seasons. Spring bursts forth with new life, flowers bloom, birds sing, and the earth awakens from winter's sleep. But spring cannot last forever. The bright blooms turn to fruit and leaves, slowly changing to the warm colors of autumn. Then comes the quiet of winter, when trees stand bare and the earth rests beneath a blanket of snow or fallen leaves. Each season has its time and purpose, and none resists the flow of change. This dance between emerging, growing, fading, and resting repeats again and again. How like our own lives this is. Just as spring cannot hold winter at bay, our moments of joy cannot stay untouched by sadness. Our days of energy give way to times of rest, and our dreams change as we travel life's path. Nature's cycles remind us that change is not only inevitable, it is essential. Without the falling leaves, the trees could not grow new ones. Without endings, there can be new beginnings. The Buddha looked deeply at these cycles and saw them as mirrors reflecting the truth of existence. Just as the seasons pass, so do our feelings, situations, and even our very selves. Nothing stands still, nothing is fixed. Everything flows in gentle waves, just like the wind that carries the autumn leaves or the river that endlessly moves to the sea. When we truly see this, a softening happens inside. There is relief in knowing that difficulty won't last forever because nature itself teaches us this truth every day. When loss or pain comes, we remember the winter and trust that spring will return. This trust is a vital part of the Dharma, the way of understanding and living with the world as it is. Nature also teaches us the practice of patience. We cannot rush a seed to grow, nor force a bud to bloom before its time. Life unfolds at its own rhythm. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to accept our own growth with kindness, knowing that healing and wisdom take time, just like the slow turning of the earth. In moments of frustration or waiting, we can turn to nature as a gentle reminder to breathe, to be gentle with ourselves, and to trust the process. Look closely at a summer storm. Powerful rain and thunder lap the earth, bringing both renewal and disruption. Storms come and go quickly, and afterward, the air feels clean and fresh. Life's challenges are like these storms, sometimes fierce and overwhelming, yet always passing. When we learn to meet change like a tree bending with the wind instead of breaking, we discover strength beneath flexibility. Even the smallest things in nature carry lessons. The delicate spider's web shines in the morning dew, fragile and beautiful. A river carves its path through rock, persistent yet patient, shaping the land over time. Each bird's song fades into silence, then another takes its place. These small wonders remind us to notice the present moment, to find beauty in what is here now, without clinging or measuring. The Buddha invited his followers to live in harmony with these natural laws. When we try to fight against what is, we suffer. But when we flow with life's rhythms, accepting birth and death, growth and decay, meeting change with curiosity and openness, we find peace and freedom. This way of living is not passive submission, but a deeply active, mindful engagement with each moment. It means responding to life's changes with wisdom, not resistance, with love, not fear. It calls us to be like the lotus flower that grows out of muddy water, blooming beautifully despite difficulty. Nature's teaching also points us to interconnectedness. Just as every part of the ecosystem depends on another, the rain on the trees, the soil on the roots, so too are all beings connected. Our own lives are woven into an endless web of relationships and causes. This insight helps soften the desire to grasp and possess. It leads to compassion for ourselves and others, knowing we are all moving through impermanence together. Consider the flowing river once more. It never stops or holds onto the water it carries. The water that passes by now is never the same as a moment before. Yet the river always continues, always alive. Like the river, our spirit is moving and changing, yet something within us flows steadily forward on its journey. In watching nature, we learn to respect the cycles of life and death, the ebb and flow of growth and rest. We see that loss is not an end but a transformation. Each fallen leaf nourishes the earth. Each ending opens the door to new beginnings. This sacred cycle is called samsara, the continuous coming and going that is the heart of existence. The Dharma teaches us to find peace not by resisting these cycles, but by embracing them with courage and love. When we welcome change as part of life's natural dance, we soften our suffering and open ourselves to joy. We learn to appreciate the preciousness of each moment, knowing it cannot stay. This understanding invites us to live gently, with gratitude for all that we have and acceptance of all that must pass. It asks us to be present with sorrow and with happiness alike, holding them both in a tender, open heart. When we walk in this way, like walking barefoot on the earth, we feel the pulse of life beneath our feet, the pulse of impermanence and possibility. May the wisdom of the seasons and the cycles of nature be your quiet teachers. May their timeless dance help you embrace the coming and going in your own life with peace and grace. Like the forest that breathes with the wind, may your heart find rest in the ever-changing, beautiful flow of existence. Acceptance and peace, inner stillness in a shifting world. Let us sit together quietly once again, opening our hearts to a gentle unfolding of understanding, a teaching about acceptance and peace. In this life filled with constant change, moments come and go like waves on the shore. Sometimes the waves are calm and soft. Sometimes they crash fiercely, pulling and pushing us in ways we cannot control. How do we find peace in such a shifting world? The answer lies deep within us, in acceptance and the stillness that springs from it. Acceptance is not the same as giving up or resigning ourselves to suffering. Rather, it is a courageous and loving acknowledgement of what is right here, right now. It means embracing life's realities, even the difficult parts, without fighting, denying, or wishing things were different. This approach is like a peaceful river flowing steadily around stones and obstacles instead of trying to stop its course. When we learn to accept life's changes, we discover a calm center inside ourselves that no storm can shake. Imagine a vast sky, endlessly blue and wide. Clouds of all kinds pass through. Dark storm clouds, fluffy white ones, slow-moving gray mists. The sky does not cling or reject any cloud. It simply holds space, letting each one come and go naturally. Our minds can be like this sky, spacious and open, meeting joy and sorrow alike without grasping or pushing away. Acceptance invites us to become that sky within ourselves. Many times, our hearts resist change because of fear of loss, pain, or the unknown. We want things to remain as they are, safe and familiar. Yet this resistance causes tension and suffering. The Buddha taught that when we stop warring with what is, the mind can rest. This rest is the essence of peace, an inner stillness that we can return to again and again. What does acceptance look like in our daily lives? It might be quiet moments noticing a breeze, a breath, or the sensation of sitting in a chair. It might be feeling grief without pushing it away, or allowing laughter to bubble up without holding back. Acceptance means opening fully to whatever arises, with a heart that says, "This is life. I am here." When hard feelings come, anger, sadness, loneliness, it is natural to want to avoid them. But what if, instead of running, we pause and meet these feelings gently? We listen to their message without judgment. We notice that, like clouds, these feelings too will change and pass. In this way, acceptance softens our struggle and opens the door to healing. A powerful practice that supports acceptance is loving kindness, sending gentle wishes for well-being to ourselves and others. When we practice loving kindness, we welcome imperfections and difficulties with warmth and compassion. This softens the heart's resistance and helps peace to grow. Imagine covering yourself in a warm blanket of kindness. It shields you from harsh self-judgment and fear. Peace born from acceptance is not passive. It is a quiet power that gives strength to face challenges with balance. It helps us respond to change with wisdom instead of fear, with openness instead of closure. This peace ripples outward, touching our relationships, our work, and the way we see the world. Consider the metaphor of a tree standing through seasons. In spring, it bursts with new leaves. In autumn, those leaves fall away. The tree does not resist shedding its leaves. It trusts the cycle and stays rooted deeply in the earth. Like that tree, we too can find grounding through acceptance, knowing that what passes is part of a larger whole. When we accept life fully, we also become gentle with ourselves. We stop pushing against our own imperfections, doubts, or struggles. Instead, we hold ourselves kindly, understanding that growth takes time and that every step, no matter how small, is part of the journey. This inner stillness is a sanctuary. Even when the outside world is noisy or uncertain, we can return to it like a quiet room within, a soft place where we can breathe and be. This place is not made by controlling the outside. It is made by opening to the present moment exactly as it is. Because life is impermanent, because everything comes and goes, practice of acceptance is especially precious. It reminds us that no pain or joy sticks around forever. All things shift, like waves rising and falling. When we embrace this truth, we begin to let go of clinging and find freedom. This freedom is not about becoming distant or uncaring. On the contrary, Acceptance deepens our connection to life. It allows us to feel fully without fear and to love without grasping. It gives us the courage to be vulnerable, the strength to face loss, and the openness to welcome new beginnings. Acceptance also teaches us patience with life, with others, and with ourselves. We learn that healing is a process, not a quick fix. Like the unfolding of a flower, peace blooms gradually when nurtured with kindness and time. In moments when acceptance feels hard, we might remember the story of the lotus flower growing from muddy water. It does not reject the mud. Rather, it uses that very earth as a foundation for beauty. Like the lotus, our hearts can rise strong and radiant from the mud of difficulty when we practice acceptance. It helps to remind ourselves that we are not alone on this path. All beings experience change and loss. There is a shared rhythm, an invisible thread connecting everyone through the dance of coming and going. This understanding can bring comfort and a sense of belonging. As we let acceptance deepen, peace becomes not just a distant ideal but a living reality. It touches our breath, our steps, our smiles, and our quiet moments. It is a gift that the Buddha offered, not a fancy doctrine, but a simple, profound way to live fully, with an open heart in an ever-changing world. May you find the courage to meet life as it is, with acceptance, with peace, and with gentle love. May your heart rest in that still space within, a place of calm amidst the swirling winds of change. And in that calm, may you discover the true meaning of peace, not the absence of change, but the presence of a quietly steady love that endures through all ups and downs. This acceptance is a home you can carry always, a sanctuary you can return to whenever life feels overwhelming or uncertain. Let your breath be the bridge. Let your heart be the sky, and may peace, born from acceptance, guide your every step on this beautiful, ever-unfolding path. Facing loss and grief, Buddhist approaches to healing. Let us settle into a quiet space together as we gently begin to explore one of the most tender parts of our human journey: loss and grief. Life is a tapestry woven with moments of joy and sorrow, beginnings and endings. Loss, in many forms, touches every heart. It might be the passing of a loved one, the ending of a relationship, the closing of a chapter in life, or even the loss of a dream or a way we once saw ourselves. How do we face these deep pains with grace? How can we heal and find peace when the heart feels broken? Buddhist teachings offer a compassionate and wise path to walk alongside grief, a path of understanding, acceptance, and gentle transformation. Grief is like the ocean's tide. It comes in waves, sometimes gentle, sometimes overwhelming. When someone dear leaves us, or when change takes away what we treasure, the heart naturally aches. This pain is real and heartfelt. Buddhism does not ask us to deny or suppress this sorrow. Instead, it invites us to be fully present to it, tenderly holding the pain without turning away or being crushed by it. Imagine holding a fragile cup filled with water. The water represents your griefs, deep, real, and precious. If you grip the cup too tightly, it might crack, spilling the water and leaving you empty. But if you hold it gently and with care, you can carry it without breaking. This image can remind us to meet grief with kindness, allowing ourselves to feel loss fully, but also giving space for healing to begin. The Buddha showed us that loss is part of the great truth of impermanence. Everything we love or hold dear must one day change or pass away. This is not a harsh rule meant to cause fear. Rather, it is a natural flow that connects all living beings across time. Understanding impermanence can help ease the sharp edges of grief by reminding us that change is the nature of all things. One way Buddhism guides us through grief is by leaning into mindfulness, noticing our feelings and bodily sensations without judgment. When sadness rises, rather than swallowing it or pushing it away, we breathe with it. We acknowledge, this is grief, and let it be present like a visiting friend. This mindful presence softens our pain and begins to transform it by removing the fear and isolation often wrapped around sorrow. Grief carries many layers. Sometimes it brings anger, at loss, at life's unfairness, or at ourselves. Other times, it might bring guilt, regret, confusion, or deep loneliness. Buddhism encourages us to recognize all these feelings as natural responses. We sit with them patiently, allowing the heart's full story to be told. Compassion toward ourselves is central here, reminding us that all feelings are part of healing and that there is no right way to grieve. Another teaching that helps is the idea of interdependence, the insight that no one is separate. Even in loss, the connections we have made with others remain, like ripples spreading across water. The love, memories, and kindness we shared continue to live within us and in the world around us. This understanding can bring comfort, reminding us that we carry the essence of those we have lost as a sacred gift. Buddhist communities and practices also play a vital role in healing grief. In the Sangha, the community of practitioners, there is support, shared understanding, and compassionate listening. Sometimes, sitting with others who acknowledge loss without judgment helps us feel less alone and more held in our sorrow. Ceremonies, rituals, and meditations are ways to honor what we have lost while gently letting go. These practices create space to express grief, to honor memories, and to find acceptance. They guide the heart through transitions, like a gentle hand helping us across a river. A powerful tool is the practice of loving kindness meditation, sending wishes of goodwill to ourselves and others, inclusive of those we have lost. This practice helps to transform grief by filling space within us with warmth and connection, softening feelings of isolation or despair. Buddhism also reminds us of the preciousness of the present moment. When grief weighs heavily, returning to the breath or to simple sensations can anchor us. This does not erase pain but creates a safe place where healing can gently unfold. The present moment is an oasis where peace, even if just a glimpse, can be found. Over time, grief often changes shape. It may become less sharp or all-consuming, transforming into quiet remembrance, gratitude, or a gentle acceptance. This is not forgetting but a new way of holding what was lost, like keeping a beloved book on the shelf, treasured and honored, but no longer needing to read it again and again with fresh tears. Facing loss also teaches us about courage, the courage to be vulnerable, to feel deeply, and to trust the heart's capacity to heal. Even when it seems impossible, the Buddha's teachings affirm that healing is always possible. The journey may be slow, winding, and sometimes painful, but it is also rich with lessons of compassion, wisdom, and resilience. Sometimes, grief can bring a deeper awakening, a realization of the preciousness and fragility of life that inspires us to live more fully, love more deeply, and walk gently in the world. In this way, sorrow can open pathways to new life and meaning. May you be gentle with yourself as you face loss and grief. May you find the strength to carry the fragile cup of sorrow with care, and may healing light your path. Remember, you are not alone. Countless beings walk this path of coming and going. This sacred journey of healing is honored by the Buddha's timeless wisdom. a beacon shining softly beside you in the darkest nights and brightest dawns. Breathe deeply, rest kindly in the heart's embrace, and allow peace to grow slowly, like a flower blooming amid the garden of change. In this, you will discover that even in loss, love continues, ever present, ever flowing, ever alive. Karma and flow, the ripple effect of all actions. Let us settle into a calm and gentle space as we begin to explore a teaching that stretches across all of life, the teaching of karma. In Buddhism, karma often stirs many questions and sometimes misunderstandings. It is not about fate or punishment, but about cause and effect, the natural flow of actions and their consequences like ripples spreading across still water. Today, let us gently unfold this profound truth and see how understanding karma helps us walk through life with wisdom, kindness, and peace. Imagine you are standing beside a serene pond and throw a single stone into the water. Ripples flow outward from where the stone landed, touching every corner of the pond, changing its surface in gentle ways. Karma is much like those ripples. Every thought, word, and deed we create sends ripples into the world around us. These ripples return to us in various ways, sometimes quickly, sometimes later, and sometimes in ways we cannot yet see. But karma is not a simple cause and effect like a rule that one correct action automatically brings reward or one wrong action instantly brings punishment. Instead, karma is a complex, flowing pattern of causes and conditions, like the countless drops of water that form the waves on the ocean. Each action, no matter how small or unseen, carries weight and energy that shapes not only our own life but also touches others. The Buddha taught that we are the makers of our own karma through our intentions. This means that the heart behind an action is the key to its karmic nature. Acts done with kindness, generosity, and wisdom sow seeds of happiness and peace. Actions done with anger, greed, or ignorance tend to bring suffering. Because the mind is the source of action, cultivating a gentle, aware, and caring mind helps us create positive karma. Karma is not about a cosmic judge keeping score. It is more like the way planting a seed naturally grows into a tree. If we plant a seed of patience and kindness, it will bear the fruit of joy and calm in the future. If we plant bitterness or harm, the harvest may be pain or difficulty. This natural law encourages us to live ethically, not out of fear, but out of love and understanding. One of the most beautiful aspects of karma is that it keeps life moving, flowing, and changing. No moment is fixed. The past shapes us, but it does not permanently define us. With every new thought and choice, we have the power to create fresh ripples. Like a river that changes shape and course through the seasons, our karma is always unfolding, and we can always begin anew. This can be very freeing, especially if you have ever felt stuck by regrets, guilt, or past mistakes. Buddhism gently reminds us that awakening arises not through punishment but through seeing clearly and making mindful choices now, right in this moment. The past's weight can be lightened by living with intention, kindness, and awareness. Consider the small daily moments, how you speak to others, how you treat yourself, what thoughts take root in your mind. Each of these is a seed of karma. If we choose to plant compassion and understanding, these seeds grow into a life enriched with peace and connection. We may never fully see all the fruits of our actions, but trust that a kind heart makes the world more kind. Karma also teaches us patience with life's rhythms. Sometimes the results of our actions ripen quickly. Other times they take years or lifetimes to fully appear. This timeline is beyond human control. Just as the farmer must patiently wait for a harvest without seeing the seeds sprout immediately, we learn trust and perseverance on the path of compassionate living. In this way, karma connects intimately with impermanence. Nothing stays the same. Our actions arise from changing conditions and continue to flow within the vast ocean of life. Recognizing this helps dissolve rigid ideas about who we are. We become more open, less stuck in old stories, and more ready to welcome transformation and healing. The Buddha also taught that not all effects of karma are personal or isolated. Because all beings are interconnected, like waves touching all parts of the same ocean, our actions influence the whole. This broad view encourages us to act not just for our own happiness but for the well-being of all. When we cultivate compassion and generosity, we send ripples of kindness that spread far beyond ourselves. This understanding can deepen our respect for nature, for others, and even for ourselves. Every choice is a tender moment to create peace rather than pain. It invites us to become mindful gardeners of our actions, tending what we plant so that life may flourish. Karma is often described as a teacher, guiding us gently through life's lessons. When difficult situations arise, instead of blaming fate or feeling angry, we can look kindly at what seeds have brought us here. This perspective helps us take responsibility without harshness or despair. It opens the door to growth and healing. Because karma flows continuously, we also learn about forgiveness, both giving it to others and to ourselves. Holding on to anger or guilt only tightens chains that bind the heart. Forgiveness loosens these chains, freeing the ripples of kindness to spread anew. An important practice related to karma is mindful intention. Before acting, we pause and reflect, asking ourselves, is this action kind? Will it bring harm or healing? This moment of choice is where we plant seeds for a better future. Small acts of kindness, smiling, listening, helping, may seem simple but carry enormous power in the web of life. Karma is also a call to wakefulness. When we realize our actions matter deeply, we live more fully awake. We notice our habits, transform harmful patterns, and bring more love into the world. This awakening is the heart of the Buddhist path. In times of suffering, we remember that karma is not fatalism. Suffering can arise, but it can also be ended through wise action, compassion, and wisdom. The Buddha's path offers tools, meditation, ethical living, and understanding to untangle the knots of negative karma and nourish the seeds of freedom. The ripple effect of karma encourages us to live with an open heart, aware that every moment is precious and every action matters. We are part of a vast, flowing river of life, each drop connected, each movement significant. May you feel the gentle flow of karma in your life as an invitation to awaken, to love kindly, and to plant seeds that bloom into peace. May your actions be ripples of light that touch not only your path but the vast ocean of all beings. Remember, in this ever-changing dance of coming and going, your heart's intentions are the most powerful currents shaping your journey. Walk with wisdom, walk with love, and may your life be a beautiful flow of kindness and awakening. Transience in relationships, love without possession. Let us come together in stillness to gently open our hearts to a tender truth about relationships and love that flows like a river, always moving, always changing. In life, one of the most powerful experiences we have is connecting with others. Friends, family, partners. These relationships fill our days with meaning, joy, and sometimes challenge. But how often do we struggle because we want to hold on too tightly? How does the Buddha help us understand love in a way that honors the true nature of coming and going? Relationships are like flowers blooming in the garden of life. Each flower is unique, beautiful, and alive for a season. We cherish them dearly, but we also know they cannot last forever. Similarly, each person who walks into our life brings a moment in time. Sometimes brief, sometimes long, but always impermanent. To love without possession means to embrace this truth, that connection is a gift to be treasured, not a possession to keep. We often mistake love for ownership. We think, this person is mine, or feel fear that if we don't hold on tightly, the bond will break. Yet this grasping, though natural, can cause suffering. When we try to possess love, we put chains on something that needs freedom to truly grow. The Buddha teaches us a different way. Love that flows freely, that holds space without walls, that gives without demanding. Imagine two trees growing side by side. Their branches may touch and intertwine, sharing sunlight and shade, but each tree roots deeply in its own place, growing on its own path. This is the dance of connectedness and individuality, the harmony between closeness and space. Like these trees, healthy relationships allow freedom while nurturing connection. When we cling tightly in love, we often feel fear of loss, fear of loneliness. But Buddhism guides us to see that this fear comes from misunderstanding impermanence. Instead of holding on tightly, we learn to cherish the present moment we share with others. We appreciate conversations, shared laughter, and silent comfort, knowing that these moments are gifts, precious because they will pass. True love in the Buddhist view is based on compassion, kindness, and understanding. It asks us to see others with open hearts, accepting their imperfections and changes without judgment. We do not try to control or change them, but honor their freedom and their own journey. This loving acceptance brings a deep peace that is stronger than any attachment. Sometimes relationships end or change shape. This can feel like a loss that shakes the heart. But through the lens of impermanence, we see that letting go is not a failure. It is part of life's natural flow. Like a river that changes its course, relationships may transform or move on, opening space for growth and new connections. When we practice non-attachment in relationships, we free both ourselves and the other person. We allow love to be an offering, not a burden, a giving that uplifts rather than binds. This freedom invites trust and honesty, because we no longer need to hold tightly out of fear. Buddhist teachings also encourage us to cultivate what is called mudita, the joy in others' happiness. When we love without possession, we can celebrate our beloved's successes and joys without jealousy or sorrow. We learn to rejoice in their freedom and flourishing, whether or not we remain close. Another profound teaching is forgiveness, both of ourselves and of others. In relationships, mistakes occur, hearts hurt, and disappointments arise. When we cling to pain or resentment, our hearts become heavy. But forgiveness lightens this weight and renews our capacity to love with open arms, even after difficulty. Practicing loving kindness meditation toward those we care about helps us build this open heart. We send warm wishes for their happiness and well-being, whether they are near or far. This practice softens barriers, heals wounds, and deepens our experience of connectedness. It's also important to remember that the self is not fixed or separate. The Buddhist teaching of Anicca, or no permanent self, shows us that who we are is always changing, as do those around us. When we grasp this, we can release the need to control our relationships based on fixed ideas of me and you. Instead, we open to the flow of interaction that is alive and ever-shifting. Relationships teach us many lessons about impermanence and presence. They invite us to practice patience when things are difficult, gratitude when moments are sweet, and openness when the future feels uncertain. Each connection, no matter how brief, is a chance to practice love with wisdom and heart. Sometimes we may fear being alone or losing love. Yet solitude is not emptiness but a space to nurture ourselves and deepen self-acceptance. When we feel whole within, we relate to others from a place of fullness, not neediness, and this transforms how we connect. Remember the story of Kisagami, who sought a mustard seed from a home untouched by death and loss but found none. This reminds us that loss and change are universal. We are not alone in our human experience. Understanding this shared journey helps us cultivate empathy, kindness, and the courage to love despite uncertainty. The Buddha's teachings do not ask us to detach coldly or close our hearts. Rather, they invite a warm, courageous love, one that embraces life's impermanence with openness and grace. Love that is free is love that heals, love that nurtures, love that sets us truly free. In the great web of life, every relationship is a thread, interwoven, vital, and momentary. When we hold these threads lightly, we can dance with joy instead of fear, give without losing ourselves, and receive without clinging. May you find peace in loving freely, in connecting deeply without possession. May your heart become wide like the sky, holding both closeness and distance, beginnings and endings, with kindness and a gentle smile. In this way, the coming and going in relationships becomes a beautiful rhythm, a sacred dance of love that knows no chains, only wings. May your love flow like a clear mountain stream, fresh, free, and full of life. The art of letting go, guided practices from the Sangha. Let us gather again in calm and open hearts to explore a practice of great warmth and healing, the art of letting go. In the dance of coming and going, one of the greatest challenges is learning how to release what no longer serves us, what holds us tight in pain, fear, or confusion. The Buddha and the Sangha, the community of practitioners, offer gentle ways to practice letting go, to soften the heart, and to move freely through life's inevitable changes. Letting go isn't about force or giving up. It is a tender process, like a leaf slowly detaching from a branch, floating down with grace. It happens in moments, in breaths, and in changes of mind and heart. Sometimes it takes time, sometimes it comes suddenly, but it always asks us to meet life honestly, with kindness to ourselves and others. Within the Buddhist tradition, the Sangha is like a nourishing garden, a community where we learn, share, and support one another on this path. Together, we practice letting go through teachings, meditation, and shared experience. It is in this circle of kindness that we find guidance and encouragement to release our clinging and embrace freedom. One of the foundational practices for letting go is mindfulness meditation. When we sit quietly, breathing naturally, we begin to watch the mind's attachments, the stories we tell, the worries we carry, the desires that bind us. We see these not as enemies but as guests passing through. Like clouds that drift across a wide sky, thoughts and feelings appear, linger, and then fade away. In this noticing, we gently loosen our grip. Imagine sitting beside a flowing river, watching leaves and twigs float past. You do not try to catch or hold them. You simply observe, peaceful and curious. This is how mindfulness helps us relate to our inner world, observing without clinging or pushing away. The Sangha often uses guided meditations to support letting go. One powerful practice is the loving kindness meditation, metta, where we cultivate warm, gentle wishes for ourselves and all beings. In this practice, we acknowledge, may I be free from suffering, may I be happy, may I let go with ease. As we repeat these words, the heart softens, and letting go becomes less frightening and more like a natural opening. Another important teaching is about surrender, not giving up in defeat, but allowing life's flow to move us. Surrender means trusting that we do not have to control everything. It means saying to fear or pain, I see you, and I will not fight you. This opening creates space where healing and transformation can grow. The Buddha spoke often about the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Mindfulness of body, feelings, mind, and phenomena. Practicing awareness in these areas helps us catch our habits of clinging before they tighten. We notice tension in our bodies, waves of emotion, thoughts spinning stories, and the ever-changing nature of the world around us. Each layer invites us to accept what is and let go gently. In everyday life, letting go is practiced in small ways too. It might be pausing before reacting to anger, noticing jealousy without acting on it, or releasing a grudge held for years. These moments, though small, build a path toward freedom. They teach us patience with ourselves and the unfolding process. The Sangha reminds us that letting go does not mean forgetting or losing what we love. Instead, it means honoring the preciousness of what was while opening our hearts to whatever comes next. Like the moon reflecting on water, love can remain even when the form changes. One beautiful practice is journaling or sharing with a trusted friend or teacher. Speaking truths out loud can release burdens carried silently. The Sangha's shared stories of loss, healing, and joy show us we are not alone, and that letting go is part of the human experience. Sometimes, letting go involves forgiving both ourselves and others. Forgiveness is a gift we give to free our hearts from bitterness and pain. It does not mean condoning harm, but recognizing our shared imperfections as human beings walking the path together. When faced with difficult life transitions, such as illness or the loss of a loved one, the Sangha offers rituals and ceremonies that provide space to grieve and release. These sacred moments help mark endings and open new beginnings, holding sorrow and hope in balanced embrace. The art of letting go also invites us to care deeply for ourselves. Kindness toward our confusion, our fears, and the slow unfolding of understanding allows healing to flower in its own time. We learn to be patient gardeners of our hearts. As we practice letting go, we may discover a deepening peace, not the absence of pain, but the presence of gentle strength. We awaken to a free, open heart that can love and live fully, no matter what comes or goes. May you find in these practices a soft place to rest, a light to guide your steps, and a steady companion in the flow of life. In the art of letting go, we are invited to dance lightly on the earth, open to the sacred rhythm of coming and going. This wisdom of the Sangha, this shared path of release and renewal, is a gift to carry with you always. A warm breath in the ever-changing story of your life. Finding joy in the moment, Buddhist gratitude. Come now, and let us sit together in stillness, opening our hearts gently to a soft and beautiful truth. Finding joy in the moment through gratitude. In a world that is always changing, always coming and going, the simple practice of gratitude can be a radiant light, a steady flame that warms the heart even when life feels uncertain or difficult. This is not about ignoring pain or pretending everything is perfect, but about noticing the small wonders and blessings that quietly surround us, and allowing them to fill us with a deep, tender joy. The Buddha spoke often of the importance of mindfulness and awareness, of truly seeing life as it is, without distraction or judgment. Gratitude lives in this awareness. It invites us to open our eyes and hearts to the gifts woven into ordinary moments. The softness of a morning breeze, the smile from a stranger, the taste of a warm meal, or the simple rhythm of our breath. Each one is fleeting, precious, and full of life. Think for a moment about how often we rush through a day, caught in thoughts about past worries or future plans. In doing so, we miss much of the richness that is quietly present right here, right now. Gratitude calls us gently back to the present, asking us to stop, breathe, and become aware of the small miracles we encounter every day. This awareness transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Imagine a garden after rain. The earth smells fresh, leaves glisten with drops of water, and flowers sway softly in the breeze. If we pay close attention, we see this beauty is here now, yet will not stay forever. Gratitude acknowledges this preciousness without clinging to it. It allows us to welcome joy as it comes and let it go with grace, without fear or grasping. In Buddhist practice, gratitude is more than a polite feeling or habit. It is a deep state of heart that grows from understanding impermanence. Because we know everything will change and pass away, we cherish the present moment more fully. This cherishing becomes a doorway into joy, even amid sadness or uncertainty. Gratitude also opens the heart to connection with ourselves, others, and all beings. When we recognize the kindness, support, and love that flow into our lives, we feel less alone and more part of a larger whole. Whether it is the care of family, the work of farmers bringing food to our table, or the unseen efforts of countless beings, gratitude knits us into the web of life with threads of warmth and respect. Consider the simple act of breathing. Each breath we take is a gift, new air flowing into our bodies, life moving through us. Often unnoticed, breathing sustains us every moment. When we breathe with gratitude, even this ordinary process becomes a source of wonder and joy. We realize that life itself is precious, not because it never ends, but because it is here now, vibrant and alive. The Buddha encouraged his disciples to cultivate grateful hearts through specific reflections. One such practice is expressing thanks for the three jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, teachings, and the Sangha, community. These are seen as the refuge and support for those walking the spiritual path. Recognizing these gifts nourishes hope and courage to face change. Gratitude also helps soften difficult emotions. When sadness or anger arise, taking even a small moment to remember something to be thankful for can shift the heart's energy. This doesn't mean pushing away pain, but adding a hint of light that lessens the weight. Like a candle in a dark room, gratitude's glow does not erase shadows but makes them easier to bear. In cultivating gratitude, generosity naturally arises. When we feel grateful, the heart opens wider and longs to share kindness with others. This sharing is a joyful giving, free from expectation, that creates a ripple of goodness that flows outward, touching lives in ways we may never fully see. In this way, joy grows not in isolation but in connection and love. Every moment offers an opportunity to practice gratitude. It might be feeling the warmth of the sun on your face, hearing birdsong in the morning, or savoring the laughter of a child. These moments, though small, are the fabric of joyful lives. The Buddha taught that by noticing and appreciating these, we cultivate contentment, a quiet happiness that is not dependent on outside circumstances. Sometimes, gratitude invites us to look deeply at challenges themselves as teachers. Loss, change, and suffering may seem painful, yet they reveal the fragility and beauty of existence. Through these experiences, compassion grows, both for ourselves and others. Gratitude for life's lessons, even hard ones, helps us move forward with grace. Imagine kindness as a seed planted in the soil of gratitude. With care, this seed sprouts into a tree that offers shade, shelter, and fruit. The tree's presence is a blessing not only to ourselves but to all who come near. So too, gratitude nourishes the heart and spreads joy in ever-widening circles. In your day, you may find moments to pause and silently say thank you for the air you breathe, the food you eat, the people who care for you, or the simple gift of waking up each morning. These little acknowledgments build a habit of appreciation that anchors the spirit in peace and happiness. Sometimes we struggle to feel gratitude when life feels heavy. In those times, compassion is important. Kindness to the heart that struggles. Even a small flicker of appreciation is significant. Like lighting a match in the dark, this flicker can grow over time into steady light, bringing warmth and comfort. Buddhism teaches that joy and gratitude are not distant goals, but seeds already within us, waiting to be uncovered. Like a gardener tending the earth, we can cultivate these seeds through practice, patience, and loving attention. Each breath, each smile, each moment of presence is a step on this path. Gratitude creates a beautiful balance in life, a harmony between holding close the gifts we have and releasing our attachment to outcomes. It helps us live fully in the dance of coming and going, embracing change as part of life's precious flow. May your heart find easy moments of gratitude each day, softening fears and lifting spirits. May you discover that joy is not far away, but waiting quietly in the present, in the breath, in the simple gifts that life offers. As you walk your path, let gratitude be your companion, a gentle light guiding you toward deeper joy, peace, and connection. This radiant love will help you embrace the ever-changing nature of existence with a warm and open heart, fully alive in each beautiful moment. Rebirth and renewal. What comes after the end? Let us gather in quiet reflection to explore a gentle, hopeful teaching. A teaching that speaks to the deep mystery of coming and going, of endings and beginnings. In the dance of life, death, and change, questions often arise. What happens after something ends? Is there renewal? Is there new life after loss? Buddhism offers insights into these profound questions through the teachings of rebirth and renewal, a path of transformation that invites us to see endings not as final darkness, but as part of an endless flow. Imagine standing at the edge of a forest as the day fades into night. The sun disappears below the horizon, and darkness settles quietly. It feels like the end of the day, yet we know that dawn will come again. This natural rhythm, darkness giving way to light, is a beautiful metaphor for the cycles that shape our lives. In the Buddha's teaching, death is one part of this greater cycle, a turning point that leads to new beginnings. Buddhism describes life as an unbroken river, a continuous flow where each moment gives rise to the next. Although bodies change and they eventually cease functioning, the energy of our actions, habits, and intentions moves forward, weaving new patterns in the vast fabric of existence. This process is often called rebirth. It is not about a permanent soul moving unchanged from one life to another, but about the continuation of a stream of cause and effect, like flame lighting another flame. This teaching offers a hopeful perspective. Even after loss and endings, life continues in different forms. Just as a seed planted in the earth breaks open and springs to new life, so too does the cycle of existence offer renewal. Each ending is a doorway, a chance for transformation and fresh growth. The way we live, our thoughts, our kindness, our wisdom, shapes what follows, nurturing seeds that bloom long after one chapter closes. Rebirth brings attention to the power of karma, the ripples of our actions that extend beyond a single lifetime. It reminds us that what we do matters. Every gesture of love or anger, every word spoken in kindness or harshness, plants seeds that grow in ways we may not immediately see. This knowledge encourages us to live with care and compassion today, knowing that our actions have lasting echoes. But rebirth is more than just the movement from one life to another. It is a reflection of the many small renewals within each moment and throughout our daily experience. Every breath is a chance to begin anew. Every moment offers a fresh start to let go of old habits and open to something better. In this way, the cycle of rebirth happens constantly in our hearts and minds, inviting continual growth and awakening. This constant renewal shows us that change is not something to fear but to embrace. Even when one part of our story ends, whether a relationship, a job, or a phase of life, new possibilities arise. The Buddha's teachings gently guide us to trust the flow, to have patience with ourselves when transitions feel difficult, and to welcome change as a friend. Consider the lotus flower. It grows from muddy waters, blossoms in radiant beauty, and then the petals fall away. The lotus lives in cycles of unfolding and releasing, a powerful symbol in Buddhism of purity emerging from impermanence. Like the lotus, we too can bloom again and again, no matter what endings have come before. This teaching is also a kind invitation to lessen fear around death and separation. Understanding rebirth encourages us to see death not as an end, but as part of life's great turning. It helps us find peace when facing loss, reminding us that love, kindness, and the essence of who we are continue in ways unseen but powerful. In times of grief or uncertainty, this understanding can be like a quiet light. It supports us to hold sorrow without despair and to move through pain with hope. The Buddha's words encourage us to cultivate qualities that bless both our present life and whatever may follow: compassion, wisdom, patience, and generosity. Many Buddhist practices support this view of rebirth and renewal. Meditations on loving kindness, reflections on impermanence, and mindful breathing help open the heart to the mystery of life's flow. Rituals honoring ancestors or the departed create sacred space for grieving and remembering, as well as for celebrating continuity. Rebirth also reminds us of our deep connection to all beings. We are part of an unending web of life, where each ending supports new beginnings elsewhere. This view nurtures humility and respect for ourselves, for others, and for the natural world. We see that we are never truly separate. We are always part of a larger, unfolding story. The awareness of rebirth invites us to become caretakers of the present moment as a sacred opportunity. What seeds are we planting in our hearts today? How are we nurturing kindness and understanding for ourselves and others? Each choice is a brushstroke in the ever-evolving painting of life, a chance to co-create a future blooming with peace. Imagine a river flowing through seasons, sometimes calm, sometimes swift, but always moving forward. So too does our life energy flow, carrying the past, creating the present, and shaping the future. This movement is a gift and a responsibility, a dance of coming and going that never ends. The Buddha's teaching of rebirth and renewal offers us a soft and deep wisdom. It helps us meet change not with fear but with open hearts, calls us to live fully and kindly, knowing that what we do every day reverberates across time and space. May this understanding bring gentle courage to your steps, light to your darkest moments, and peace to your heart. May you see that after every ending, there is a new beginning blossoming quietly, like the dawn after night. Remember, in the great cycle of life and rebirth, you are a radiant stream flowing endlessly, always returning, always fresh, always alive. Walk gently, love deeply, and trust in the beautiful mystery of renewal that awaits in every moment. Everyday applications, impermanence in modern lives. Let us sit together again, quietly and gently bring our attention to the world we live in now. The busy, changing, complicated world of modern life. Even as technology races forward, cities grow tall, and our days become fuller with work and noise, the ancient truth of impermanence remains just as true, just as deeply alive. The Buddha's teaching of Anicca, that everything comes and goes, is not just an old idea locked away in temples. It is a subtle, tender guide for living fully in every moment, no matter where or when we are. Think about your day. From the moment we wake up, things are already changing. The morning light pours through the window in a pattern never to be repeated. The sounds of traffic, birds, or conversations shift constantly. Even our thoughts and feelings rise and fall like waves. Sometimes we are calm, sometimes anxious, sometimes joyful, other times tired or frustrated. Life is moving, always flowing, always new. This continuous change shows us the invitation and challenge of impermanence in modern lives. It invites us to slow down a little, even just for a breath, and notice that nothing is fixed. Your worries, your successes, your relationships, they are all in motion. This understanding can shine a soft light on the way we live, helping us find peace amid chaos and joy amid uncertainty. The busy world may seem to pull us in many directions. We rush between tasks, scroll through endless screens, carry expectations of productivity and achievement. It can be easy to forget that this moment, right here, right now, is all we truly have. The Buddha's teaching calls us back to the present, asking us to open eyes and hearts to the flow of life with full awareness. Impermanence helps us see the wisdom in letting go of perfection and control. In a world that is always shifting, jobs change, relationships evolve, health fluctuates. Clinging too tightly to plans or outcomes can cause deep suffering. Instead, we can practice flexibility, learning to adapt with the flow, making room for change rather than resisting it. A simple way to bring this teaching into daily living is through mindfulness, a sacred pause in busy moments. Before answering an email, before a conversation, or at a traffic light, pausing to take a deep breath and notice life as it is can transform our experience. It roots us in the present and reminds us that this instant will never come again. Impermanence can also guide our choices about possessions and consumption. In a world that often encourages us to gather more things, more status, more distractions, the Buddha's wisdom whispers a gentle pause. Recognizing that material things pass away, we may begin to value experiences, relationships, and inner growth more deeply. This shift softens our cravings and leads to a lighter, more spacious way of living. Modern life often brings feelings of overwhelm or burnout. The relentless pace can make us feel like leaves caught in a storm. Here, the teaching of impermanence offers a refuge, a reminder that the storm will pass, that even difficult moments are temporary. This can inspire patience and self-compassion when life feels hard. Technology, with its rapid changes and constant updates, mirrors impermanence in its own way. Devices quickly become old, apps update, news cycles turn over. Instead of resistance, we might approach this rapid change with curiosity and acceptance, learning to move with the flow rather than against it. Relationships today often face great demands of time and balance. The Buddha's teaching invites us to appreciate and nurture connections, while understanding their natural rhythms. Friendships might stretch or shift with changing circumstances. Learning to love freely without holding tightly can ease the pain of separation and deepen joy in presence. In workplaces, impermanence can help us face uncertainty, whether of roles, projects, or future paths. Instead of fear, we can cultivate openness to new possibilities, practicing courage to let go of what no longer serves and welcome change with grace. Even in moments of health challenges or aging, impermanence reminds us to live fully with whatever is present, appreciating our strengths and limitations alike. This awareness fosters respect for the body and mind as evolving parts of a larger whole. The teaching also softens our inner dialogue. When we stumble, make mistakes, or feel lost, remembering change can bring relief. It reminds us that these states will not last forever and that growth is always possible, no matter how slow or hidden. Modern life invites us constantly to be learners, adapting, evolving, and discovering. Impermanence encourages humility. We don't have all the answers, and that's okay. We join a great unfolding story, where each moment offers a new chance to begin again. Practicing gratitude amid daily ups and downs becomes even more precious in this context. Recognizing fleeting joys in simple things, a warm cup of tea, a smile from a colleague, a breath of fresh air, grounds us and connects us to life's preciousness. Community, too, takes on new meaning in this fast-changing world. Sanghas, groups, friends, these connections anchor us, reminding us we are not alone as we navigate change together. Sharing struggles and joys strengthens bonds and welcomes healing. The Buddha's teaching of impermanence can transform even digital relationships. Seeing virtual connections as living, breathing interactions opens space for kindness and presence, wherever we are. Though technology shifts, the heart's wish to connect remains constant. With impermanence held gently in our awareness, fear of the unknown softens. We begin to trust life's unfolding more deeply, opening to mystery instead of resisting it. This trust becomes a quiet courage that sustains us in transition. At night, when the world settles and the mind quiets, this teaching can guide us to peaceful rest. Knowing that rest too will pass and regenerate helps us surrender to sleep without worry, allowing the body and mind to heal naturally. Impermanence also inspires creativity. When we see that nothing is fixed, new ideas and perspectives can bloom. We become more open to learning, growth, and transformation in every part of life. In parenting, impermanence invites us to cherish each stage, from first crying breath to first steps, from laughter to teenage challenges, knowing these moments will shift and change. This awareness helps us hold children with gentle hands and open hearts. For those facing loss, whether of people, dreams, or ways of being, this teaching offers deep comfort. It assures us that while pain is real and valid, it too is part of life's flow, and healing will come in time. When it comes to the environment, Impermanence calls us to respectful stewardship. We see that nature changes constantly, sometimes through harm and sometimes through renewal. Acting with care and awareness nurtures a world for future generations, embracing the delicate balance of coming and going. Ultimately, the Buddha's teaching reminds us that life is not a problem to fix, but a river to flow with. Every moment offers a chance to breathe deeply, to open gently, and to move with the currents of change. Let us, then, carry this wisdom with us each day, not as a burden or harsh rule, but as a loving guide. May it inspire patience when things shift, joy in simple moments, courage in uncertainty, and peace in the heart's quiet center. In the dance of modern life, with all its speed, challenges, and beauty, may you find the gentle pulse of impermanence as your steady companion. May it teach you how to live lightly, love deeply, and walk your path with a heart open to the wonder of every unfolding moment. And as you meet each day, may you remember, all things come and go, and in this dance, there is a profound and tender freedom, alive, embracing, and whole. Wisdom traditions, how other cultures embrace change. Let us sit quietly together and open our hearts to a beautiful and gentle journey. A journey through the wisdom of many cultures around the world and how they, like Buddhism, embrace the great truth of change or impermanence. Though our path so far has been lit by the Buddha's timeless teachings, the dance of coming and going is a universal rhythm. Across lands and centuries, people from different wisdom traditions have found ways to live with change, to honor it, and to find peace and joy within the flow. Change is life's great teacher, and every culture listens in its own way. Let us gently explore these teachings, weaving together their stories and insights, to see how common threads of wisdom connect us all in our shared human experience. In the Native American traditions, the circle holds special meaning, a symbol of the endless cycle of life. The seasons, the moon, and the life-death rebirth cycle are understood in harmony with nature's rhythms. The people honor the earth as a living, breathing mother who changes through cycles yet remains always present to care for all beings. This deep connection honors impermanence not as loss but as a sacred dance. Through ceremonies and stories, they teach respect for transitions and the courage to flow with the changing spirit. Similarly, the ancient Celtic people spoke of the Wheel of the Year, a cycle with 8 stages marking the turning of seasons and life's phases. Festivals celebrated beginnings and endings, light and dark, birth and death. Like the trees that shed leaves in autumn and burst into green in spring, they embraced change as natural and necessary. Their songs and rituals reminded everyone that endings are doorways to new beginnings, a truth in harmony with the Buddha's teaching of Anicca. In Indian philosophy beyond Buddhism, the idea of Maya speaks of the world's constant change and illusion. Life's form is always shifting, reminding seekers not to cling to appearances, but to find the unchanging truth beyond. A spark of pure consciousness that flows like light through every changing shape. This echoes the Buddhist teaching of anatta, or no fixed self, and invites us to find freedom not in permanence but in seeing deeply with wisdom. The Japanese tradition values the beauty of impermanence through the concept of wabi-sabi. It celebrates the simple, the imperfect, and the transient. A cracked teacup, a weathered garden stone, or falling cherry blossoms are seen as precious because they show the passage of time and the natural beauty of change. Wabi-sabi teaches acceptance and gratitude for life's fleeting moments, encouraging us to find joy even when things fade or fade away entirely. Taoism, a philosophy from China, offers a soft yet powerful view of flowing with change. The Tao, meaning the way, is the source that moves through all things, like water flowing gently around rocks. Taoism teaches to be flexible and humble, not resisting life's currents but following their natural path. This is the art of living lightly and easily, in harmony with the universe's endless coming and going. Within Christianity, particularly in mystic traditions, there are reflections on surrender and trust amid change. The idea of letting go and letting God invites believers to release control and find peace by trusting in a loving divine presence. The cycles of life, death, and resurrection are central symbols suggesting that through endings come new life and hope. Islamic wisdom also contains beautiful teachings about patience, sabr, and trust, tawakkul, in God's plan. Change is seen as a test and a part of Allah's greater wisdom. The Quran reminds the faithful that nothing is permanent except God's mercy, encouraging surrender to life's flow with faith and courage. In the African traditions, stories of ancestors convey the importance of honoring the past while living fully in the present. Change is part of the collective journey. Rituals celebrate life cycles: birth, coming of age, marriage, death, understanding that every step brings transformation. The community supports the individual, reminding each person that they are woven into the fabric of generations, each one passing like rivers joining the ocean. Even in modern indigenous movements, these ancient understandings hold fresh power. There is a reverence for the earth's shifting cycles and an acknowledgement that to survive and thrive, people must respect and adapt to continual change. What ties all these diverse traditions together is a deep respect for the flow of life, its beginnings, endings, and transformations. They teach that clinging to permanence causes suffering, while openness to change leads to peace. They offer rituals, stories, practices, and symbols that help hearts soften, minds become clear, and spirits grow strong amid life's ups and downs. These wisdom traditions remind us that change is never an enemy but a companion, sometimes challenging, sometimes gentle, always alive. When we listen deeply, we hear the same message beneath different languages. Life is a river, ever moving, and the secret is to learn to float gracefully. In today's world, filled with rapid shifts and uncertainty, these teachings offer precious guidance. We are called to blend ancient wisdom with modern awareness, to honor the ancestors' lessons while creating new ways to live with impermanence. Community, story, ceremony, and mindfulness all help us stay balanced and connected. When we open ourselves to this rich tapestry of wisdom, we find not confusion but clarity. We realize we are not alone. Across cultures and time, humanity shares the same longing for peace, love, and understanding in the face of change. This shared awareness encourages us to hold our own struggles tenderly. When loss or transition occurs, we remember ancient songs and prayers that speak of renewal. When joy comes, we join the celebration of life's continual unfolding. The Buddha's teaching is part of this great human story, a delicate thread woven among many. By embracing the richness of global wisdom, we deepen our own practice and grow a heart that is wide, warm, and welcoming. Imagine yourself standing at the crossroads of many paths. Each path is a tradition, a story, a way of meeting change. You see the footprints of countless travelers who learned to live with impermanence, their hearts open and brave. May you walk with them, with their love and courage lighting your way. May you feel the support of ancient winds and youthful springs, guiding you to flow gently through the river of life. Let this collective wisdom soften your fears, deepen your joy, and steady your steps. Know that you belong to a vast family of seekers, all learning to come and go, to begin and end, to love and release. And in this belonging, may you find a perfect peace, a peace that blooms in every breath, every moment, every turning chapter. Walk on with a heart wide enough to hold change as a friend and life as a sacred gift. For in the dance of all traditions, all beings, and all times, we find the gentle truths. Everything comes and goes, and this is the way we live fully, deeply, and beautifully. Conclusion: embracing the unfolding path. Let us come together one last time, in gentle stillness and open hearts, to hold the precious teachings we have explored, and to see how they come together to guide us on the unfolding path of life. Everything, moments, feelings, people, and even ourselves, is on a journey of coming and going. This great flow, the dance of impermanence, is the heartbeat of existence itself. Here, in this final part, we gather wisdom to embrace this truth fully and live from a place of peace, courage, and love. From the first breath to this moment we share, life has been moving, always changing, always new. The Buddha's timeless insight teaches us that fighting the ever-turning wheel of change only brings suffering. But when we learn to walk with life, accepting what comes and goes, a deep freedom arises. This is no mere idea. It is a living, breathing experience available to each of us. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves rise and fall, never ceasing. Sometimes they sparkle in the sunlight. Other times they toss in storms. We cannot stop the ocean, nor must we try to control it. Instead, we learn to sail the waters with skill and grace, feeling the wind, trusting the currents, and moving with the flow. This is the unfolding path, the art of living fully in the face of impermanence. We have traveled through teachings of mindfulness and non-attachment, seen the gentle power of nature's cycles, listened to stories that comfort and awaken, and learned to soften our grip on self and others. Each teaching is a stepping stone, guiding us toward a heart that welcomes change with warmth instead of fear, love instead of clinging. As we conclude this journey, it's important to remember that embracing impermanence does not mean becoming cold or distant. It means becoming more alive, more tender in our human experience. When we accept that every encounter is unique and fleeting, we learn to cherish it all the more deeply. Every smile, every tear, every quiet breath holds a sacredness born from knowing it will not last forever. This perspective brings a fresh view of ourselves. The stories we tell about who we are, our fears and hopes, our hearts and joys, are like clouds passing across the sky of our mind. They are real and valuable, but not fixed and unchanging. When we loosen our attachment to these stories, we find our true nature, a vast, open awareness that holds everything gently without losing its calm. Love, too, becomes transformed. Instead of grasping or clinging, love flows freely like a river, nourishing and cleansing. We learn to love fully and openly, accepting others as they are and holding them lightly, like a bird resting on our hand, free to come and go as it will. This love is courage, kindness, and compassion, all flowing from the understanding that all things are always changing. Fear of loss diminishes as trust grows, trust in the natural unfolding of life, trust in our own resilience, and trust in the interconnectedness of all beings. We find courage not in control, but in surrender, not in possession, but in presence. This path also calls us to kindness toward ourselves, a compassionate heart that embraces our imperfections, our struggles, and our moments of doubt. The Buddha's journey was not about perfection, but about awakening through acceptance and care. The practice of mindfulness remains a steady companion, helping us return again and again to the present moment, where life is truly lived. When we rest in this awareness, the constant coming and going becomes a dance of grace, and even difficulty becomes a teacher. And as we walk this path beyond the final words of this video, remember this: your journey is unique and sacred. The unfolding path belongs to you in every breath, every step, every choice. You are not alone. Each moment connects you to all beings who walk this changing world, each one learning how to come and go with wisdom and heart. Before we part, a gentle reminder: there are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of viewers subscribed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel Wisdom Woven. Your support helps this light of wisdom reach more hearts, more seekers, more souls who long for peace and understanding on their own paths. Thank you for sharing your time and heart with us. May the teachings of impermanence inspire you to live with openness, to love without walls, and to embrace every change with a soft and steady spirit. May your days be filled with peace that flows like a calm river, with joy that blooms like the lotus, and with courage that rises like the morning sun. Life will bring you many seasons, many changes, many journeys, but within you lies a quiet refuge, an endless wellspring of love and awakening. Walk your path gently, with wisdom woven in your heart, knowing that everything will come and go. And in this dance, everything is alive, precious, and full of meaning. Thank you, dear friend, for being here. May the unfolding path be filled with light and love for all your days and beyond.